something I want to do in my life is to, besides have my own restaurant, is to create books that will educate people, specifically to people that don't have the same societal resources that people have that allow them to be able to go to higher education or go to whatever, even just graduate high school. And I think that, and personally for me, it's because of everything I've experienced, I really have recognized that knowledge really is power. It really, really is. And this is really fundamentally important to remember, is that many people who do hold very high intellectual gifts will try to manipulate people who have lesser intellectual gifts, who do not have the intellectual capacity that others may have. We see this through institutionalized racism, which is still a constant and consistent, or I should say just a generally consistent trend within this country, and I'd argue even within the world, but specifically within the young United States, who are just like a young child. They believe that they are right and superior in every way to whatever anybody else says, which is typical for somebody that is young. But it's really, really an aspect of domination. You know, people talk about money, and they talk about the importance of money, and they say how money ultimately dictates what happens to people and the survival that they have. Well, money, really consistently, we know about the use of coins as far back as 40,000 years or so. But in terms of the modern world, even if you do look at things in terms of thousands of years, that really, money in itself has never been the strict do or die for mass extinctions of species. Money obviously did not exist until our level of intellect, and it's very, very possible that there's, as the way evolution goes, there's life forms out there that have much higher intelligence than us, and who value and probably even have a system that measures societal power more so, or any kind of species-ridden power, than money does. That's just what currently exists as on our earth, as we are the highest intellectual and conscious species, and therefore we ultimately control everything. But even within sole human intelligence, we control one another. We have the capacity in our brain to be conscious and to be intellectual, but humans within themselves will try to manipulate one another over lesser or more intellect. This happens all of the time. I see it on a daily basis. I have experienced it obviously myself. You are naive to the situation that is going on, and you are easy to control. So my goal is to educate people in a way that they can understand, not as a grade, not in a way that they won't understand. You know, it's almost like a superiority complex with a teacher and a student, which I never approve of, hardly ever. It's really a means that they can develop the skills, as we know from the way that the human mind works, that they can garner information and then decide what to do with it. But the problem right now is that many people don't even have access to that information. Persuasion and rhetoric doesn't always work, because we know that the way the human mind works is that they generally are, in the simplistic sense, stubborn. Whether you learned empathy growing up or not, whether you're one of these people, you know, who lacks empathy or not, whether you're one of these people that sexualizes me and doesn't care about how much it hurts anybody or anybody they've ever known, whether or not you're one of those people because your parents never told you that feeling for other people and that you're going to make mistakes and that you have to fight for what you want is something that happens in life. Even if you're not like those people and you aren't somebody that lacks empathy, even if you are somebody that has empathy and you have the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and think, oh, that must hurt, then there is absolutely a reason for why you are so stubborn. We have the ability in our minds to always think for ourselves in a way that's, we acquire information, we decide what to do with it. So in terms of persuasion or rhetoric, it isn't always efficient, because the whole idea behind it is and this is a tactic that is often used and has been used against me to manipulate people, is that you have to, it's called gaslighting, that you have to convince somebody that they're crazy. You have to convince somebody that they have to start questioning themselves in order for you to get them to change their mind. That's a common tactic used with people that enjoy manipulating other people. It's a common tactic with people that want to kind of use somebody else to get or acquire what they want or what they desire. And it's something that is really, really just, it's important, not even just hypothetically speaking, but it really, really is vital to know for survival. Just having the ability to understand that you take the knowledge that you are given and then you decide what to do with it.